Jess, what are you
Oh,
drinking?
yes, sir.
I'm drinking a beer. Can I drink in here? Is that allowed?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
hell
also
yeah.
I'm also drinking a beer. I have leftover hunch punch from the Halloween party that's going to take me weeks to finish. I have a full cooler's worth, so I really need to get on that actually.
Do you feel like you have to drink it? Do you feel like you could just
Yeah,
pour it
no,
out?
I can't pour it out. I have to drink it.
Okay,
I already spent the money. I already made the drink, you know?
that's a good point. So good luck with that.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Totally Biased Music, and we're your hosts, Blake and Christian. And today we have a very special guest. You know, Christian and I like to have a female presence on the show every once in a while. It really brings us back to earth, keeps us grounded, teaches us how to talk to women, which we don't do very often. Um, so today we have longtime friend of mine, Jessica Lingle here, who is a musician herself. Is a good friend of mine. She stole class president from me my senior year of high school. So Jess, why don't you introduce yourself to Christian and everybody else and let us know stuff about you.
That pretty much covers it. Those are like the main things. That I still class president, musician, longtime friend of yours. Just kidding. I'm really glad to be here. This is fun. I've been listening to the pod for a while, so it's an honor to be here.
Very nice.
Happy to
Um,
have you. Happy to have you.
and what do you want to know? I mean, I guess I make videos now. I'm a producer, which I love doing. I still make music just kind of for fun on the side, but don't really get around to it. And it's like weird playing music in my apartment, so I don't like singing here.
What do you
Um,
play? Oh, do you sing vocals or
I
what are we
I
talking?
sing and I play guitar. Not very like skillfully, just like kind of the basics, but I like to
She has
sing
an
the
album on
most.
Spotify, Christian. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
No, wait, we gotta shout that out to our listeners. What do you mean?
Yeah. So wait, hang on a second. Let me pull this up. Um,
I
Jessica
feel so differently
Lingle.
about it now. Like it's sweet and it's a nice little time capsule, but it is a little bit cringy to me now. So I don't love
How old is
putting
it?
it on blast. 10
She
years actually this year.
she put it out in 2013. Damn,
Oh,
10 years
fuck
ago.
yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
That's weird.
What
Very
kind of
nice.
music do you dabble in making now?
And now it's like sad girl,
Ooh,
situationship, folk.
like Soccer
Um,
Mommy.
right. That's kind of my brand, my flavor. Um, but yeah, it's always kind of been music. I love when people describe it as music that they want to fall asleep to. So I'll take
Oh,
that.
Nice.
fuck yeah.
Very
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
perfect. Wait, and so
Very,
you said you're a producer. Who are you producer for? Like, who do you work for, or is it just freelance?
yeah. I'm a digital media producer for Alabama Public Television. So I like make digital content for our PBS station here in Alabama, which is cool because only old people or like really young people, like children, watch PBS. We're trying to like find this crowd of people and what they would really want to see. And it's cool. I like
That's
it.
that's badass. I used to work with a bunch of
Thank you.
producers. I was with T-Mobile's internal agency, and I handled all of our national advertising. So everybody, all these people under
Hell
me were
yeah.
editors and motion graphics artists and producers and all that shit. So very familiar with that world.
I love how collaborative it is. Like, I love that it really does take so many people. I mean, people can do like, one person show and make great stuff, but I think it's so much better when you have just like a great team of skilled people doing it.
I didn't realize how in depth it was until I got into something like that. And it's like you even have audio engineers that or color
Right.
engineers. Like it's just color is the only thing they focus on is coloring
For
these things.
real.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Big, big world of stuff.
Well,
Okay,
cool.
so we are doing the album today is Volcano by the group Jungle. So there's a brief Apple Music intro, which I was surprised about actually. But it says a decade into their career, London duo Jungle is determined to make up for lost time. Josh Lloyd Watson and Tom McFarlane felt that they had taken too long to follow up on 2014 self-titled Mercury nominated debut, with the second album, Forever, arriving 4 years later. It injected their third album, Loving in Stereo, released in 2021, with a creative restlessness, and that thrilling urgency continues on Volcano. So, Jess, this was your pick.
Mhm.
How often do you listen to Jungle? Why did you pick this album? Tell us a little bit about it.
They're in my rotation a good bit of the time just because I've enjoyed their last four albums that they've put out. Just a lot of feel good bangers on there. They have just like a unique groovy sound to them. And so I've been enjoying them for a while. This album that I chose is not like my favorite album in the world or anything. I just think it's a really cool addition to this year's music, this life's music. And so I'm excited to hear what y'all thought about it.
Nice. Christian, what'd you think? Is this your first listen?
It's my first listen through the whole album, but because I follow Channel Trace, it came up on my Spotify. So the song I've Been in Love came up. And I don't know why I didn't dive into the album deeper, because I've been in love with that song. I love that fucking song. It's very much that like Channel Trace's vibe on that's his vibe. It's what his bread and butter. So going into the album was really, really cool, and everything kind of matches that vibe. And it's really just right up my alley. It's this like funky fucking disco soul done in a minimalistic way on like the beat production, but the vocal sampling and the vocals throughout a lot of these songs almost make up for the minimalistic part of the beats, in my opinion. It's these layered vocals that it's this like ethereal, and the layers in between where it's all these little different samples that it creates this more intricate beat kind of throughout these songs. And I kind of fell in love with that throughout. And so this will definitely be heavily in my rotation. Some of the songs really reminded me of like a chilled out minimal house version of Justice. I found like a few of them being like, oh, like if this was pumped up a little bit more, like I could see this be a Justice track. So
I totally forgot about Justice. Actually, I need to go back and listen to some Justice. Yeah, I didn't know anything about these people at all. I didn't know what type of music I was getting into. I didn't look up anything. I didn't listen to any other songs. And so the first track, I was like, I didn't know that they were like an electronic band type duo. And so the first track, I was like, what? I don't understand what kind of music this is. Like, what is this album going to be? But then as I got through it, I like found kind of the theme and the overall arc of like what they were trying to do. And Christian's right. It's very like, I don't know. To me, it's very like drive around sunset music. Like I could just picture listening to this with the windows down, the sun's going down, it's the weekend, you're having a good time. Like I would put this on, and I like the vibe of it a lot. My only gripe, I think, which we'll get into later, is like with a type of music like this, towards the end of the album, it like all kind of started to run together for me. Like when I got to like up in like 12, 13, 14, I was like, okay, I kind of feel like I'm listening to one really long song here. So I need to mix it up a little bit, but like I do enjoy it for what it is. You know, it was very new, and I actually want to go back and listen to their other albums too and see what they're like. Are there other albums like this, or are they different?
Yeah, I was just going to say that it's funny that y'all said all the things that you did, and I really love what you said about them. Like, I think that both of what y'all said is like very emblematic of their style, which is like, one, they use vocals in this like really intricate, like beautiful, but also like sexy way at the same time, like as the way that they use it as another layer to the beat for most of their songs. But I will say that all of their albums, there's like 5 or 6 and I'm like, oh, this is great, I love this, but like a few that just kind of run together and don't stand out to me. That's just how it's kind of been the whole time with their stuff, but I let them get away with it because I love the stuff that I love.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, Jess, what are your top 3 songs on the album?
Okay, my top 3 is like definitely the one that also the internet loves, which is Back on 74. That one is so good. I'm obsessed with it. I listen to it probably like once a day at this point. Helps me be in a better mood in the morning, I'd say. But I also love Dominoes. And then Good at Breaking Hearts is my other top.
Nice. Christian, what about you?
So we are the same for our first. Back on 74, it's what I was talking about, like the vocal layers throughout that song. It's just like if you have a headache or you've had a bad day, the layers with the vocals on that track just like wash through you. And it's like,
Can cure your hangover.
I can even feel like just by talking about this song, like the tone of my voice coming down just a little bit. And it's like, it's very much like that. But it was like driving home, like on a like warm summer day, as the sun is just perfectly setting. It's that like little twilight vibe after you've been out, like kind of on the water, on the beach all day. And it's like, that's what we're just cruising on home
I feel
to.
that.
Very much
Very
that
nice.
vibe. My second is obviously the one that turned me on to this was with Channel Trace. I've Been in Love. It is fun. It is fucking sexy. It's just an absolute killer song. And then we had another one. So my third one is Dominoes. It's just fucking, it's killer.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we're pretty aligned. I feel pretty basic now because my number one is also back on 74. I mean, it's a great song, you know, and I didn't know
it's great.
I didn't know the internet was on board with it, you know, but it's straight vibes. It's a good ass time. And I also really love Dominoes as well. So I think all three of us had both of those. And then my third one was Holding On, the second track. So I think the reason that I liked Holding On the way that I did was because it's not that the first song is like a bad intro song or anything, but like I said, I didn't know what the fuck I was getting into. And so then by the time the second song rolled around, I kind of had a feel for what type of music it was going to be. And I don't know, it's just, it gives me like late night Tokyo vibes. I don't know, you know, like it's very upbeat. There's a lot happening and like the vocals in it are kind of crazy. And I don't know, it's just a really fun song. I like it a lot. So Holding On is kind of, it's different to me than the rest of the album. Like the rest of the album is very kind of laid back and Holding On is very like up tempo, upbeat. And it's a blast to listen to. So I really like it. And I kind of wish they had opened with that one, honestly. Like, I was listening to the album today on vinyl, just to flex for a second. Nice.
Of course. But I don't know. I think they could have, like, really just, like, started really strong by having that be first. But yeah, not my choice. Yeah, for sure. I will say there were some other honorable mentions here. Good at Breaking Hearts, I really liked towards the end. But like I said, like, when I got to the end, it was kind of dragging on for me a little bit, but I do really, really like the vocals and Good at Breaking Hearts. I don't know. What's funny is like, I don't know Channel Trace, and the only feature I know on this album is the very last song. Boz is on it, and I know who Boz is. I don't know any of the other features in this album at all, but I really enjoyed like most of them. But yeah, Good at Breaking Hearts was definitely an honorable mention for me. I enjoyed it.
If you don't know Channel Trace, after this, you need to go listen to Top Down by him because the song is a just fucking certified banger.
I can get with that. He's a hip hop artist?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, what he creates is kind of like this, honestly. And so he does this like low timbred style of voice like he does on this, you know, I've Been in Love track where it's this kind of like almost talk rhyming through stuff. Yeah. It's not necessarily rapping. It's not necessarily singing, but it's like
slam poetry.
And it goes perfectly kind of with this just like minimalistic house vibe. And that's kind of his style.
Yeah. Nice. All right, Jess, the harder part now. What are your bottom three songs?
Oof.
I actually feel like I don't know, this was maybe a little bit of an easy choice for me just because I, again, like agree that they just kind of run together on the backside of this album, but Don't Play, I don't like it as much as the other songs really at all. Coming Back, Take It or Leave It. And then I'm kind of sad about this one, but Pretty Little Thing was on my bottom, and I also really like Plus. They actually did a song on their last album called Romeo with him. That was like one of my favorite songs, whatever, I guess it was last year, maybe the year before that it came out. So I was really disappointed that this one didn't live up to that same hype that I had for that song. So that's a plug for that song. Go listen to that one, also by Jungle. So
nice.
It's my bottom.
Yeah, I think like Pretty Little Thing would be better if it were like the 7th track on the album. I know that's like a shitty thing to say, but like maybe if I listened to it as a standalone song, I would enjoy it more, but I definitely get what you're saying, especially towards the end. Christian, what do you got?
All right, this is gonna bum y'all out a little bit because I got a couple of y'all's tops, but we're gonna get through this. My first one is "Holding On." The vocals sound like they're coming through a megaphone, and at a certain point, it's just like,
Stop yelling at me.
yeah, I'm like, it's not hitting the right way. And then my second is "Only Good at Breaking Hearts." I really wanted to like this song, okay, because I dig the chorus, but J&R Williams. I like don't find anything that stands out to me that I like about his voice. And so I was just kind of like, I could take it or leave it. It's not like I hated these songs. I don't think there's any that I hate on it. And then I had Don't Play. Actually, number one, the Holding On, I fucking hate. That megaphone shit was like, all right, no chill.
Dang.
I get what you're saying. But like for some reason I like with the tempo of the song, I really like how they do the vocals in it. Like it's just I don't know, there's something about it that I really enjoy. But I get what you're saying. I mean, I feel like
it's because you're submissive. It's because you're submissive. Like that's all it is.
Oh my God.
That's not true. Everybody listening, that's not true. I want that on the record. Okay, that is false.
100% sub.
My bottom three. So my least favorite song is "You Ain't No Celebrity." I fucking hate the vocals on this song. God, they drive me insane. And like the very beginning, it starts with. I think the vocals on it are "You Ain't No Celebrity" at the very beginning, but they're repeating it. They repeat it like 15 times. I literally listened to the first 10 seconds and was like, I'm putting this on the bottom. I can't fucking do this. So I listened to the rest of the song, but nah, it's not my vibe. And then every night was just meh to me. Like it wasn't, it's kind of like Christian said, like I didn't outwardly hate it or anything. But it wasn't, I don't know. It's just kind of dull to me. And then, yeah, it sucks, but Pretty Little Thing as well. Like I really like Boz in this song, but the other vocals they have in it before he's rapping, I guess it's the chorus. I don't know who's singing on the chorus or if it's a sample or whatever it is, but it really fucking takes me out of the song, which is disappointing because like I like Boz a lot, and I don't know. I feel like his feature is kind of dulled down by everything else going on in the song, so it was just not super enjoyable to me. It happens. But let's get into so I tried to look around for ratings. Jesus Christ, that's bright. Hang on. I tried to look around for ratings, and Pitchfork and Rolling Stone, our good friends at Pitchfork and Rolling Stone, don't have any. So I pulled up Metacritic. Metacritic, it has an 81 Metascore, a 7.2 user score. So I think that's fair. What do you think, Jessica? What do you rate it?
I was thinking like honestly just solid 7. Like there's a lot I like about it, but it's not one of my top favorite albums of all time or anything. I think like Back on 74 is such a good song. That's a great one, but other than that, it's not it's good. It's solid.
Yeah, that's fair. It's
a little
good.
mid at times.
That's fair. Christian, what about you?
I'm giving this a 6. And listen, there's like everybody's kind of said, there's a lot that I loved about this, but as far as it being an album, there's not much of a journey here. When you're really taking through each and every one of these songs, yeah, it does blend together, but not even like we can go further than that. It's a lot of this stuff that's been done before. We look at this like minimal kind of like new soul, new funk, new house, whatever you want to call it, with, bringing in these features that fit very well into that. So as far as like experimentation or pushing on sound, you don't really feel it. I would love to see them like that Back on 74 taking, obviously that's their most popular song, but I think why is because of the intricacy of the vocal samples and the layers that are there. So like, I guess in the future, I would love to see them push more on experimenting with that, because I think that's like their bread and butter. So yeah, I'm going with a 6.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm giving it a 6.5, kind of for the same reasons, right? Like I talked about earlier, it just 14 tracks of an album like this, it just kind of starts to all sound the same. And like, I feel like they possess the capability to do more and kind of branch out and experiment. And I don't know, like, I need to go back and listen to other albums by them and see how similar they are to what they have put out before. But I think, you know, with Christian and I, a lot of what we look at and think about when we listen to artists is like, what album to album, what have they done? How have they progressed? Is there any progression there? And, you know, there are albums like we talked about Utopia a few weeks ago, and somebody who listens to Travis Scott a lot, like there is a huge progression there. And the album itself was a mix of all these different types of sound and music. And with this album, it just didn't feel like that was there. It just felt like kind of all of the same thing, which doesn't make it bad. Like, it's still good music and they're still good at it. It's just, I don't know, it kind of left me wanting more, if that makes sense. So that's where I'm at with it.
I totally agree. I think that it was interesting, like when I was saying that back on 74, like the internet also loves it. That's the only song of theirs that I've seen take off on like TikTok or Reels or whatever, which is interesting to me because they have these like catchy little like jammy internet songs, I think, that could probably do well for dances or dumb trends that I unfortunately have to pay attention to for my job. But all that to say that I think that they are getting there. Like, I think like this could be a really, really great group and make some really cool albums in the future, but they've kind of just been like waiting in the wings, it feels like, and waiting for their moment. I think this album, like, I see more from them than I have, like more variety from them than I have in past albums, but I also agree. I think they're capable of more. So let's see it.
And I'm pretty sure, like, aren't they on their own label? I think they're on their own label.
They are. This is
so like I think when you look at when artists are doing that, their journey, their kind of arc, as far as like when they do take off, it's just longer, because when you sign to labels, the opportunity for collaboration and all that kind of stuff is pretty instant. Like, you're signing to a label and you're kind of getting access to all these people, especially if your songs start to take off. When you do it on your own, I feel like that arc is just a lot longer. And I think what you're saying is right. I think this album is kind of like that spark for them, where we might start to see some really cool shit come from them, especially with the popularity of this.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, and they it's funny you say that, Christian, about the label, because there was a Rolling Stone article just about, it wasn't a rating, but it was just talking about Volcano. And the headline is Jungle, quote, "We can literally do whatever the fuck we want." And it says, after 10 years on the scene, Tom and Josh, the UK duo behind Dance Act Jungle, are displaying a newfound confidence. As they release Volcano, their second record from their own label, it's clear that they're feeling free to experiment with collaborators and their creativity is pouring forth. So I think you're right. Like, especially from like an advertising and marketing standpoint, with people on their own label or independent artists, like, it's harder for them to take off. I mean, I hate to go back to this example, but like, you can look at Pretty Lights and Bass Nectar, right? Like, Bass Nectar was signed to a major label and we saw his trajectory, and Derek is Derek. Like, he's doing his own thing and he never really reached that size. It doesn't take away from, you know, their skill or who they are as an artist. Like, I think arguably Pretty Lights is a better artist than he is, but it's harder to get that traction when you're trying to do your own thing, essentially. You don't have the funding and the advertising and all this stuff that comes with a major label. So, but it is nice to have that freedom, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is. You saw that happen like a lot with like Thievery Corporation too. Like, it's just one of those bands, they decided to like say no to all these large labels and go their own direction and continue to do it on their own. And it's just one of those things where they got there, but holy fuck, it took a lot longer than if they signed that label, but they stayed true to themselves. And, you know, I feel like that freedom is there.
Yeah, so, for sure.
I'm stoked to see what they put out next.
You look at people like fucking MGK, like when he was first starting, he was this whole anti-establishment, like GA only, like fuck VIP, and then he signed to a major label and makes Blink-182 music now. So, you know, sometimes you sell your soul, and that's what fucking happens.
I think it's like lucky though that this time, like in culture and pop culture, like having the internet to kind of be your marketing or whatever kind of avenue you can find your way to people, like, is lucky. So hopefully maybe they won't sell out as easily if like they can just kind of organically find their people. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
Have to
Christian and I
the best of
haven't
them.
sold out yet, and we're
Yeah.
averaging like thousands of listens, so we're just doing our own thing. We're kind of a lot like them, actually, a music duo, doing our own thing.
That's what I was thinking for sure.
There's a lot of similarities there. Okay, so we fucked up, guys. We didn't send rides or dies to each other, so I think we just need. I know. I just realized that when we started, and I didn't want to like pause and everybody send songs. So instead, I think we should just go a different direction, and let's just talk about kind of what's been in the rotation recently, what we've been listening to a lot. I'm interested to hear kind of the seasons are shifting, the vibes are shifting. It's soup season now, so the music starts to change. So Jess, what have you been listening to recently? What's been heavy rotation for you?
Can I check my notes really quick?
Mm-hmm.
Hold, please.
That's fine.
Oh, I've been getting moody, it looks like.
That tends to happen when the weather gets cold.
I'm usually just listening to like some sad girl music on a pretty regular basis, though. I did want to say, and I don't know, I was not resisting, but I was totally resisting becoming a Billy Strings fan for a long time. But
why?
It's inevitable. I tried to do the same thing. It's inevitable.
I think I just like had some misconceptions, honestly, that I needed to break through. And so I finally did that when someone just like sent me a song, and I was like, what? This is amazing. And so I've been listening to Renewal a lot, which I love. I've also been listening to this girl. Actually, she just came through and played a show at Saturn in Birmingham. And I went to school with her, so I'm going to go ahead and just plug her. Kate Rudy is her name, and she's just like, I don't know, my kind of stuff. Just like sad, gonna call out some men in songs, and
nice.
Fuck yeah.
With like
Love
a beautiful
that.
voice, and you're like, damn, she can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to check now.
Also, both of those are bluegrass. I'm not only listening to bluegrass music, so I don't want that to be like a misconception about me. But let me keep thinking about that. Can I come back?
Yeah, for sure. Christian, what about you? What have you been listening to?
Man, I gotta tell you, it's been a wild ride recently. So there's this artist called Long Story Short that's just like some good house vibe. We're gonna change it up here because there's this group that you both would probably hate called Slang Dogs, and it's just down dirty fucking in your. They're called Slang Dogs. They remix a bunch of like
Slang Dogs. Fuck yeah.
They remix a bunch of like Suicide Boy shit, and it's just like
nice.
heavy, like I'm angsty in the gym. And then there's this Jess, you might have heard of Ford, the artist Ford. Kind of like vibey house shit. Ford. Period. But there's this track there's this track that he put out recently called Everything's All Right, and it's just beautiful. It's really nice. I've been listening to a bunch of like I've been on the bluegrass kick, Trampled by Turtles, fucking Billy. Just being a down and dirty redneck. I don't know what else to say there.
It's in your blood. You can't fight it. Growing up in the old B-ham, baby.
And then I've just been ripping since we did fucking Linkin Park Meteora last week, but I've been ripping through Hybrid Theory like no one's fucking business. So,
dude, I've been listening to so much Linkin Park.
It's horrible.
Oh my God.
I can't and what's fucked is Spotify. Especially when you get on Spotify, it'll tell you, it'll be like, jump back in, and show you, what you can listen to. And I'm like, shit, guess I gotta listen to Linkin Park again. Let's fucking go. So
yeah, I'm singing it in the fucking gym, and I'm pretty sure someone called a social worker because I'm just singing, sad shit. And they're like, are you fucking good, bro?
So fucking good, man. And you know what? It sucks. I'm really glad we did the Linkin Park episode. But now that I've rinsed that album 6 times since then, I had so many more thoughts on it. But it's I still think it was great, and it was nice to just jump back in and listen to something I hadn't listened to in a while. Yeah. I've been going through. Do you guys know who Party Next Door is?
No, sounds gay though.
So he's hi baby. How is she doing? Has she shit on your floor today?
Not today. She's being a lot better.
Nice.
I love a dog with freckles. Cute.
Yeah, she's got to keep freckles. Look, she sees y'all. She's like, "What the fuck is this?"
I don't have Jinx. I don't have Jinx with me today, but you can see Lev in the background just hanging out. She wanted to be part of the show today. I know, right? Fucking 13 years old as shit. Okay, so Party Next Door is like a sad boy, like hip hop R&B artist. He's kind of like a better version of The Weeknd to me. He does a lot of collabs with Drake. And I, it's funny. I texted a friend of mine and I said, I'm going through a heavy Party Next Door phase right now. Do you have thoughts on that? And all he sent back was, "You're too good for her, bro. Let it go."
Oh my God.
So, I've been listening to a shit ton of Party Next Door. I've also been listening to, I've been going back and listening to old Future albums when Future had that run from like 2013 to 2016 when he was like in his prime. It's, it's typical shit you'd expect to be. It's fucking hip hop music, but I'm trying to branch out and listen to other hip hop artists that I don't normally listen to and partake in. But it's now it's, we talked about this on the Linkin Park episode. Now it's we're getting into winter and doesn't feel right in my soul to listen to country in the winter the way I do in the summer. We got 7 inches of snow. I can't be listening to songs about drinking Coronas at the beach. I can listen to country songs about women breaking my heart. That much I can do. But that only 100%. Takes me so far, Yeah. So I've just been sticking to my typical repertoire, as they say. Jess, anything else? Did you find anything else that you've been listening to that you want to share with us?
About this one artist who I think is really cool and who also I think isn't getting she's just, I don't know why people aren't just obsessed with her, but her name's Remy Wolf.
I know Remy Wolf.
Okay, you guys are obsessed with her. Great.
I'm a store baddie with my booty on the sink. Come on.
She is such a baddie. I love the vibe. I feel like such a bad bitch when I'm listening to her.
Yeah. Liquor store.
I've enjoyed. Yeah,
Fucking,
Liquor Store is a great one.
Rips.
Down the Line, Anthony Kiedis is great. So a lot of them that I love by her too. So she's been in rotation since I discovered her. But
I think she just did a couple of reworks of Paramore songs. If you end up wanting to check that out.
Yeah, no, I love her cover. She also did Pink and White, which was. She also has just a little soulful kind of sexy side to it, and I love what she's doing. I want to see whatever she's up to. I want to just keep up with her. So. Check her out if you haven't yet.
Been obsessed with her for a minute.
Speaking of Paramore, I just want to shout out once again. I know I've talked about this before on the podcast, but when we saw Paramore at Bonnaroo, first off, I would let Hayley Williams give me AIDS. All right, I'm going to throw it out there.
Everyone would, I think.
She is so bad, but man, they fucking tore the house down, dude. And when they played Misery Business, that shit hit like crack, dude. Oh my God. And they didn't, and they made a joke about how for years they didn't play it because they were sick of it because everybody knew Misery Business. And they didn't close. I expected them to close with it, but it was their third to last song. But when Misery Business hit, man, everybody around us was just fucking losing it. And then they ended, and I go, "Play it again!" And somebody turned around and was like, "Seriously, dude, please, I need to hear it again." But Jinx is freaking the fuck out. Hey,
intruder.
Yeah, somebody fucking walking by, just minding their own business.
Yeah, a fly hit the window.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, let's pivot. What about movies? Anybody watch any good movies they want to talk about? Christian, have you been watching scary movies, or Jess, in the spirit of the season that you guys want to share, or any movies at all that have piqued your interest recently?
I've been ripping through just the Scream. Old school. Oh, you did? We just talked about this one.
I watched it last night, which okay, look, I
got into
the scary movie game kind of late, yeah, and I just now have been no, I can watch these by myself, which is the problem, and so, it's been fun. I watched Nightmare on Elm Street last week, which was fun.
Ooh, nice.
Trying to get the classics in, but I'm kind of late to the party.
Yeah, we're running out of time, too. It's once it hits November, it's I'm not in the mood anymore. I would love to see the streaming statistics of scary movies in the month of October versus every other month of the year. But I can't believe you've never seen Scream. That was your first time. What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it?
It was silly. I enjoyed it. It was grosser than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I liked it.
Nice.
Solid.
The acting is fucking hysterical. That's like why
Yeah.
I've been going back, just running through all the OGs, like OG Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, all that. Even like Exorcist, I'm like, it's hysterical. Now tonight, I'm gonna watch The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which when I
That's
first
the good
saw
one,
it,
right?
I'll be
That's like the big one.
there's one movie that has actually fucked me up. Like as an adult, would sleep. I'll sleep with the light on for a week after watching it. Like not even.
See, that's what I cannot be doing that. I like live alone and have kind of a creepy neighbor, so I got to keep it like cheesy only.
Yeah.
That's fair. Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, what's the first movie that like actually scared you as a child? And I told them that Poltergeist, the original Poltergeist, I remember watching it when I was young. I was probably like fucking 12 or something. And I remember being creeped out at Poltergeist. And I haven't watched it since. I need to go back and rewatch it because it's like a fucking classic. But the thing about those, like, we talked about this before, Christian, but those 70s scary movies, like Nightmare on Elm Street, the OG Friday the 13th. Like, it's funny, I watched Friday the 13th and then I watched the second one immediately after. And it literally takes place in the same fucking, like they use the same set. Like it's the same fucking set. There's nothing changes. And it just feels like if you watch them back to back that you're watching one 5-hour fucking movie because they changed nothing about it, which I really appreciate the fact they were that dedicated to it,
I think it's so funny with like those older movies too that they like are like, we're not gonna pick one thing. Like we're gonna do every scary thing.
Oh no, we lost
time.
Jess.
And you guys are frozen. Are you there?
Oh,
Hello?
we got
lost you for a second. All right, we're back.
Yikes!
What are you saying about 70s movies?
Well, just that they don't pick. Like I feel like scary movies nowadays are like, we're gonna pick one scary thing and really focus on that. But like Poltergeist and even Nightmare on Elm Street and other movies of the era, like, are just like every scary thing you can possibly think of. Like they don't have to do all of it, but they do anyway.
Yeah, they try to shove as much as they can into one movie, which really makes for a chaotic fucking film to watch.
It is. I'm like, okay, I thought we were scared of this like 10 minutes ago. Like, why are we bringing like bodies in a pool like into this? Like the graves coming out of the pool. Like that was just radically unnecessary. I was already scared of other things.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay.
I watched right before we recorded. I watched The Fighter on Netflix. It's got Mark Wahlberg, Christian Bale, Amy Adams. It's about like Mark Wahlberg. He's a boxer. It's a true story, but it's the reason I bring it up is because it's based in Boston. So they're all doing a Boston accent throughout the whole movie, and like, I just need to say, like, I need me a fucking Boston girlfriend that just pronounces words wrong and like just wants to fight everybody that pisses her off. Like I just love everything about that energy. I need someone that's going to tell the waiter like that's not what I ordered and it's not going to be me. So I need a Boston girlfriend to do that for me. I'm on a kick right now. I'm plowing through boxing movies because I took a boxing class, and so I'm just rinsing everyone that I can find. Cinderella Man, The Fighter, Southpaw, like whatever it is, it just gets me in the mood. Just I square up with Jinx, I shadow box with her. It's really nice. She enjoys it.
Are you gonna stick with boxing? Do you think that's your new shtick?
I think I might make it my whole personality for sure. I think I've committed. Like I'm just gonna tell people like, yeah, I'm a boxer. That's all I do for fitness, and just like every conversation, whether it's about boxing or not, I'm bringing it up. People are gonna know for sure that's
people
what I'm
love
doing.
that.
Yeah, they do. It's like a better version of a CrossFit guy because it's actually cool.
All you have to really do is just get a wife beater, get your last name tattooed across your back, and then beat the shit out of your ex-wife. Like, simple.
Okay. Good plan.
Said, all right, good episode, everybody.
Love how this is going.
If that's not a boxer starter pack, I don't know what is.
That's true. The fucking tank top, baby. All right, well, shit. What you guys have anything else you wanna touch on, talk about? Jess, do you wanna plug your album? Do you want us to say the name of it? We can if you want us to. I know you cringe a little bit, but I enjoy it. I still listen to it from time to time. It takes me back, get a little nostalgia trip. So feel free to plug it if you want to.
that's what I think it's good for though. Like I don't know if people who don't remember it are gonna be like, I don't know. I don't know if it stands the test of time, is what I'll say. But it's called Kingdom in the Trees, and uh, yeah, it was just like a little 5-song album of songs that I wrote when I was in high school. One of them is about Blake, and I feel like that's why he
Nice.
likes that album.
Very nice.
Oh, this is making sense now.
I was trying to bait her into saying that. That's the only reason I brought it up.
He's like, I go back and listen to it from time to time when I need an ego boost. That's what this is about.
But it's just like I don't know. I had a very like sweet perspective of the world. I've seen a lot since then. I don't feel the same ways that I used to, but I also would rather plug this other album that I have with a friend of mine. It's called it's by our band is called Page 127. We don't like play music or anything anymore, but yeah, those were just like silly times of writing music. Now my stuff is so much more sad and like just men, hating men is kind of the theme of it now.
Nice.
Fair. We all hate men. We're horrible people in general.
Right? Don't we all?
But as you make stuff, send it to us. Even if you don't post it publicly, send it to me, send it to Blake. I'd love to check it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I need to like get into a studio or just like go to a place where I can just like sing as loudly as I really want. Like I think that's what's holding me back from just like recording stuff. But I've been writing a lot. I just got an electric guitar a couple weeks ago, which has been fun to just kind of shake it up a little bit.
Fuck yeah.
But maybe in the next 10 years you'll see something else.
Yeah, I was gonna
be reviewing your album.
I'm really pissed that we didn't do Rides or Dies because I was gonna send a song off of your album because I thought that would be really funny, but we totally botched it. Also, I will say I listened to some Billy Strings the other day. And I picked up the guitar and I was like, I'm just going to play. And then I watched a YouTube video and some guy was like, yeah, this is how you play like this breakdown on this song. And I was like, I'm never going to be that good at guitar in my life. And then I put it down. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, I'm done with this.
I'm just like, it's what they call like a campfire guitar player. Like I can like play the chords, but I just like do not care about getting better at it. And I wish I had a better attitude, but I don't. Got plenty of other things going on.
Yeah,
hard.
Exactly. Like I'm busy, I got a life. It's fucking hard out here in the streets of Denver.
Exactly.
So I got other stuff I got to worry about. Well, Jess, thanks for coming on. It was a fucking blast. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for the new artist to listen to. I'll have to go back and listen to the rest of the albums. I enjoyed it. I hope you did. We need to have you back on soon, and we'll make you listen to like Limp Bizkit or something and see like what your take is on that. So yeah, we appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun. Yeah, and it's good for y'all to have a female presence, I think.
Yeah. Damn straight.
It's good to keep you in check. You guys were like on your best behavior tonight, I feel like.
Yeah, we didn't make like really any inappropriate jokes. Christian, do you have one maybe like in the back pocket you want to?
I don't. I feel like we've been reading in general. This is about the music, baby. We're talking about what moves us. I think since we've been honing in on it recently, we've been fucking on our game. We might get a little crazy, but it's not like it used to be. We're growing up a little bit.
Yeah, true.
Love to see it.
Lizzo sucks. There's one.
Oh no.
That's kind of a joke there. So, but other than that, funny. I don't have anything else. Again, thanks, Jess. Everybody, thanks for listening, and we will see you guys next. Christian, are we doing next week?
Yeah, baby, we're fucking week on week. Let's go.
All right, we're doing next week. All right, I'll see you guys later, everybody.
Good to meet you.
You too. Thanks,
Bye,
y'all.
guys.
Bye.